Well, it is National Caregivers Day, where we recognize those who selflessly provide physical and mental health care to those who need it most. And many caregivers often neglect their own need for self-care. So this morning we have Alex Sabag with Soul Dive Yoga in Palm Desert, shining a light on the need for caregivers to practice self-care. Welcome to you.
Well, thank you.
First and foremost, talk to us a little bit, Alex, about your personal story that made you have empathy for caregivers.
Yeah, so on my 33rd birthday, my boyfriend at the time was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. And so we started the morning with coffee and getting ready to celebrate, and the call came in that he needed an emergency brain MRI at Northwestern. We were living in Chicago. And so it was really from that moment on, I dropped everything to be his primary caregiver. And
you experienced what that was like and how that felt.
I did. There's nothing like being in the room where it happened. And, you know, not only witnessing somebody who's getting such a heavy diagnosis, but also looking at how that changes the course of your own life, being connected to him and the day after he did propose. So looking back on the whole situation, I was so unprepared.
So did you find you went toward holistic healing at that time?
It was actually the first place I went was my local yoga studio in Chicago, right after we were discharged from the hospital. So it was basically my home away from home. I couldn't, wait to go back in, and I'll never forget the moment where the teacher received me and was obviously very caught up in the fact that I was engaged in my ring. And then when everything kind of came out, I lost it. Matt was dying, my whole life was turned upside down. And the words that she said to me was, "This is your home. This is a place where you can come and be precisely exactly who you are and take whatever you need."
And your gift back to our community is that you have opened your own yoga studio and you're doing something special for caregivers today.
So today, Friday, is National Caregivers Day. I obviously feel very connected to this holiday. And so we've added a class on our schedule at 7:30 p.m. tonight. So whether you need to come restore, or you want to put some power in your practice, or you want to have a tea, or you want to just dance around in a yoga studio, this evening is for you. And hopefully you come up and just take precisely what you need.
And connect with other caregivers who understand exactly what you're going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Whether it's you individually caring for a spouse or a child or a loved one, right? A lot of these times when we step into the caregiver's role, we're choosing it, right? Some of it's a little bit obligation and that's always there, but we make a choice, right? I didn't have to stay. And I made the choice to stay because it was the person that I loved. And when you think about these nurses in the ER and the ER docs, and we have a lot of them already within our community, they wake up every morning and make a choice to give back to individuals in that way. And we want to be a place where they can come fill up, get nice and nourished.
They truly are our heroes. So if people are interested in attending, where do they go? Your website?
Yep, you can go to souldiveyoga.com, and through our schedule tab, you'll see Caregivers Yoga on Friday at 7:30. If you're confused at all, you can send us an email, info@souldiveyoga.com, on Instagram @souldiveyoga. And we are offering a special treat for all the caregivers who are watching this on NBC. So if you mention that you saw this segment on NBC, you get your class for $10.
All right. Alex Sabag, thank you so much for joining us this morning and for what you're doing for the community.
Thank you for having me. We'll see you on your mat.
All right. We'll be right back.